Hey, what is going on, Miami Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the Fins Up Network, the home for coverage of your 1-0 Miami Dolphins. It's Ben Morgan, and it is time for a little stock up, stock down as we get set for week 2 against the Baltimore Ravens. And like I said last week, this video is essentially my way to keep tabs on our players, who's looking good, who needs to improve. But there's definitely more guys that you'll likely have that won't be covered in today's video. So go ahead and drop your stock up, stock down candidates in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you are hitting subscribe. But let's start right away with a stock up, and that's Kader Kohou. I think this guy is going to be on every Dolphins fans list because he came in and performed. Only 18 snaps, but he wasn't on the wrong end of any bad pass plays and coverage. He had here's a Madden reference, the absolute hit stick on Nelson Aguilar to force that fumble to basically seal the game for the Dolphins. Had another pass break on a throw to Hunter Henry later in the game. Had the 4-yard run stop on Ramondre Stevenson, who's not the easiest running back to bring down either. That is a lot of impact plays on just 18 defensive snacks. So it is, I think I might have said snacks there. I meant to say snaps. You get what I'm saying. But it's stock up for Kader Kohou. And put it this way, I won't be surprised if Noah Igbinoghene is a healthy scratch again week 2, week 3, because he's not technically listed as a stack down for me in today's video, but I wouldn't blame you if he makes your list because Kader Kohou is making him not necessarily be a player that needs to be getting snaps for us right now. Let's go to a stock down because you know what? There's Magic Mike, there's Missing Mike. We've got the latter. And I talked about this in the recap video after that week 1 game against the Patriots. Talked about how maybe his usage was a little bit more game specific and how maybe that's what we'll see out of him this season. We've seen George Kittle go through these kind of spurts as well in the San Francisco offense, which is kind of what we're basing what we think our offense has looked like and will look like on. But based on last Sunday, Mike Gesicki can be nothing but a stock down for me. He was the second lowest graded offensive player by Pro Football Focus. And believe me, I do not take Pro Football Focus and their grades as the Bible, as the only thing that you can use, but it is a reference, it is a tool. And I will say, I think his grade kind of leveled out to what we saw on the field. Played just 25 snaps, and by comparison, Durham Smythe played 38. So his usage is something we're going to have to monitor, but it's stock down for Mike Gesicki after week 1. But man, let's talk about one of the defensive players from the game against the Patriots and what we're hoping to see continue to prove against the Ravens here coming up. But Brandon Jones, he made the defensive play of the game with that perfectly timed blitz, got the sack, got the forced fumble, which led to Melvin Ingram's scoop and score. Had another pass breakup that, by all means, if he could go back in time, he probably would have picked that ball off as well. He had run stops at the line of scrimmage, and he stepped up and tied for the team lead in defensive snaps played, which was especially important when your other safety, Eric Rowe, was held out. And I love that Brandon Jones and Jevon Holland both made big, impactful defensive plays, help solidify our belief as Dolphins fans that this safety duo can be really damn good for years to come. But I'm definitely stock up on Brandon Jones, and Jevon Holland would honestly make my list too if I wasn't already so damn high on him. But I'm stock up for Brandon Jones for sure. Let's talk about a stock down here. I got Jaelan Phillips on today's list. And I'll be completely honest, I have not rewatched all of Jaelan Phillips from week 1's game, but I did keep my eye on him for most of the snaps during the live version of the game. I like to key in on edge players specifically. I really was watching Jaelan Phillips. And all I saw really for the most part was him continually getting stonewalled. He couldn't use his speed to get around the edge. He couldn't use his strength to effectively bull rush. He really couldn't find success with the moves that he was trying to set up future moves, which what we've seen him do so successfully in the past in both college and his rookie season. And damn it, I'd also really like for them to stop dropping him into coverage because he seems to be more of a liability doing that than anything else. A miscommunication that involved Jaelan Phillips led to the Patriots' only touchdown when Ty Montgomery caught that ball, essentially had time to roll into the end zone because no one was over there by him. But he finished with the third worst Pro Football Focus defensive grade on 40 snaps. He stocked down for me after week one. But you know what? I'm gonna be honest right here. I'm a huge Jaelan Phillips fan. I'm not near ready to panic on him because we've seen it in the past. Historically, especially with the Dolphins, we've seen pass rushers produce in spurts. They're not always consistent players week in, week out, especially ones that are playing in their first game of their second season. So I think we got to give him a little bit of a break. I think he'll be just fine. We could see a big bounce back already next week against this upcoming week here against the Baltimore Ravens. Uses speed, uses athleticism against one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league in Lamar Jackson. Well, let's pop up a stock up, and that's Melvin Ingram because his biggest play was obviously the scoop and score on the Brandon Jones forced fumble. He was credited with just 2 tackles, but we know that he can rush the passer. That's what he's done his entire NFL career. But his ability to set the edge and perform against the run really showed up for me against New England. That tackle that he had for a loss on that Patriots ball carrier, I forgot who it was on that specific one. Super impressive play. I thought he made the most of his 31 snaps. He wasn't out there as much as a guy like Jaelan Phillips was. And it just goes to show Miami's got guys this year. Remember, Trey Flowers was a healthy scratch for this game, and that just goes to chalk up the depth that we have at this position. And honestly, it's going to be this kind of depth which can allow this coaching staff to either play the hot hand, let the guy that's having these nice spurts continue to be on the field, or if injuries happen, because you know damn well injuries always happen, the depth is going to be super important. But I think the biggest question that I had regarding Melvin Ingram was his overall performance against the run. And Sunday against New England definitely helped answer some of those questions for me. Let's jump into a stock down here because Nik Needham is another guy that I'm not really panicked about by any means, but he qualifies for me as a stock down this week. And why I'm not super panicked about Nik Needham's performance is because he was basically playing out of position. Sort of showed why we want him staying at slot corner, but obviously the coaching staff decided it would be best to let him play on the boundary alongside Xavien Howard. But he gave up some big plays. Showed he didn't really have what it took to step up and be that boundary corner. Let's get him back to the slot. But it was against guys like Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne, and we simply cannot be letting that quality of wide receiver be the ones that are beating us. And we'll have to see against the Ravens if this strategy at cornerback by leaving him out on boundary continues or if they change it up this week. But like I said, I think I speak for most all Dolphins fans when I say we want Nik Needham back at slot corner sooner rather than later. But those are my candidates as we get set for week 2 against the Ravens. But like I said, drop your stock up and your stock down candidates in the comments below and stay tuned throughout the week as we continue Ravens preparation. Throughout the week, we'll be back with our 3 keys to victory. I believe that should drop on Thursday. And then my final preview and prediction video will drop Saturday morning. But that is my time for today, Miami Dolphins fans. And until next time, fins up.